Sound Production. Sound Production.
Hello, salutations, what it do? It's Dr. Gamer, all five of the Do-Rag Gang. You know the vibes, like and subscribe, let's get it. What's up, everybody? We got Aqua, we got Mr. Art of the Zoo himself, Sub Casual Avenger, Rishi, Jordan Goku, Rickim, what it do, everybody? Do-Rag Gang, stand up. You guys know the vibes. Like and subscribe if you're new right now. Regardless, spam that like button. We should be seeing 100 likes at least by 5 o'clock, which is 9 minutes away. That is when the developer stream is going to be kicking off. Yeah, that's better. We'll be surprised if they're actually on time. They're usually on time, Daniel, for the most part. Am I going to release the reveal? Am I going to release it? I have nothing to reveal. I don't have any Spider-Man information. If they reveal it on stream, which they're not, but if they show Spider-Man on stream, then yeah, of course, I'll cover it. What's going on, Incredible Harry? Talking through PSN. That is the way. Can't wait to play the raid. Same. What's up, Mr. Clean Kids? How you feeling, my friend? Where's that Dr. Doom cameo? Soon. Oh, look at that. They starting early. See? Y'all want to be negative. They not only started on time, they started early. They are on it. Eternal Slander is welcome. Sup, Tasha? Do-Rag Gang is assembling as we speak. I had to reschedule, but I'm going to be seeing Eternals tonight at 7. So right after the stream's over, I'm going to be heading over to my local movie theater. I'll let you guys know. I'll have my instant reaction on Twitter. So if you want to see what I think of Eternals, just No spoilers, no review. I'll be reacting on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter as @SedatTheGamer. And next week, I'm doing a full official spoiler review with Doom Killer HD. That should be dropping on Wednesday, so look out for that. Can you get a Wakanda salute? There you go. Wakanda forever. Shameless Twitter plug. I'm all about the shameless plug, my friend. If you don't plug, you don't grow. The Eternals is banned in your country. Yeah. If you're in particularly Muslim countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, they ban movies all the time. Eternals has a gay kissing scene, I believe, and that is frowned upon in non-Western countries, so not surprising. Ask the devs to make Black Panther Harm Room drop his own comics. Okay, Theo. Do I think they'll apologize again? Nope. They issued their statement. They removed the XP, the consumables. That's the most we're getting. What's up, Tom J? What's good? My twin Doom Killer HD. Speak of the devil. Where is the Wakanda Forever emote? It is sold in the PlayStation and Microsoft store. Or at least it was when they dropped that deal. I don't know if the deal's still going on, but that's where it was when they dropped it. From what I'm hearing, the dev stream should be solid. This one is going to be mostly about gear and quality of life stuff. I know Alex is going to be one of the devs, and he's pretty solid. Sub Eric, feeling. Thank you, Doom, for the 99 cents. Appreciate you, my friend. Will this dev stream change your life? Well, technically, it's both a dev stream and a Sadat the Gamer stream at the same time. So because I'm involved, yes, your life will change. Congrats on 7K. Hard work pays off. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Now I tell him. You just caught up. Hey, James, welcome. You finally caught up? Yeah, I mean, that controversy is behind us. Watch out for the next one, because technically they're adding loot boxes. They're free right now, but they're promising that they're going to go more over the cosmetic rework in the coming weeks. But technically, they have dropped loot box. They're dropping loot boxes. Mr. Clean Clays, thank you for the 99 cents. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. I hit 7K on stream yesterday. Hey, that rhymed. Do I think Spider-Man will be mainly a melee character? I think he'll be designed similar to Black Panther. Yes. Appreciate all your coverage of the game, your build. Thank you, Roderick, for following. Appreciate it. After the SC article, surprised anyone from CD. I mean, it's bad, but it's an old report, so I'm sure they were aware of it. Most of them. You haven't played the game in a minute? I feel you. What's up, Bill? You think XP boosters will be in the shipments? I mean, they might be. Appreciate it, Bill. Loot boxes you can buy with in-game currency until you don't. Until you can buy it for real money. You know, we know how this works. Can't wait to use Spider-Man on other missions. Should be interesting. Yep, loot boxes. Right now they're like, well, they're free right now. That You get them with in-game currency. They're for units instead of credits. But XP boosters were free too at the start. So I just want to hear them say it. I want to hear them say the loot boxes, which, first of all, adding loot boxes already breaks the promise that they made. They made 2 promises. No, they said no pay to win, no loot boxes, no pay to win scenarios. Marketplace will only sell cosmetic items. So that's out the window. Tato Dadson, my friend, what's up? Appreciate you, my friend. Wow, we got everybody here today. Tato in the building. One of my best friends. We go way back. Very talented individual. Photography, video. He's all about it. Craftsman 7K, thank you, my friend. 1 minute. It's my time right now is 5 o'clock, so should be starting any minute now. What gear do you need for Thor? For it, whatever character you're playing in the raid, according to Brian, you need Sonic and or Vibranium gear. How will they develop Spider-Man web swinging? We'll see. Eternals is a good movie. That's what I'm hearing. The critics hate it, which is shocking. So I'm very curious. The audience so far actually likes it. Oh, it's time. It's time, everybody. No audio right now from them. They're currently muted. You're muted, Andy. Which one's Alex? Is the top? I think the top one is Alex. Just a guess. Off to a great start. It has been a while. What has it been, like a month since Andy did this? Check your OBS, my friend. Change scenes or adjust the audio. You probably have to adjust one of the Johns. You gotta mute the music and turn on you guys' audio inputs. I guess it's for a Zoom, whatever. I think it's for the Zoom call. So place your bets on how long this is going to take. Aqua, you said full screen. I don't do full screen on the dev streams because there's really no point. All we're doing is looking at their faces, and I need to be able to see the chat because they answer questions in the chat. There's always a dev in the chat answering questions, so I need to be able to actually see it so I can type questions, so I can see responses from the dev. So no full screen today. Sorry, guys. 45 years, 2 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Please, guys, you're trying to have faith in the game. Oh boy. There we go. I hear something. I heard his Slack notifications. Still hearing the music.
Maybe.
There we go. We got something. We need to play that Benny Hill music.
Something.
Okay, so wrong channel. It's
it's obviously grabbing your computer. I'm gonna say something dumb. Is the Zoom meeting on RDP or on your other computer?
Yeah, we can hear them, but we can't hear Andy. I mean, that might be fine. Let's just let Alex run it. Let Alex run the stream, and we'll keep it moving. They want us to pay 100 credits for sound.
Do it live. We'll do it live. We got this.
I got this.
Oh, really? So everything about the diagrams totally went to chat. Perfect.
No, Andy's still muted.
I guess we can just go. We can start going. We just don't have a handler. We don't have a moderator moving us forward.
We don't have an Andy.
Sure.
We're-
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the game designer currently
Hey, I was
working on the resource update as well as the gear update moving forward into the next patch. And I am here to take up a lot of your time to talk about a lot of the cool stuff going on in the next update.
Awesome.
And Mike, did you want any update, or did you want to like preface this with any high-level updates on the roadmap?
Sure. Well, just to give you high level, sorry about the technical difficulties. These things happen, but I'm confident we will figure this out in the near term here. That being said, happy to be back. Glad to help and share information with the community. Always fun to do that. That being said, today I'm going to try and talk very little, actually. We have Alex here today, an awesome member of our systems team on Avengers, and I can't wait for him to share with you some of the exciting stuff we've been working on. I know we shared some more information, a little bit more on the roadmap earlier, and we got some really awesome updates coming out today, you know, and over the next couple weeks. But we definitely have some progression related topics right today, Alex, we wanted to go over.
Absolutely. All right. So let's get into the interesting, cool information right now with resource rework. High level, we will be removing Polycoron, Catalyst, Nanotube, and Plasma as a necessary resource for you to for upgrading gear, for mission completion, what have you. When we remove those resources, we are actually, when a player logs in, we are going to crush all of those resources they have, and we're going to give you a set amount of fragments, upgrade modules, and Polycoron, the 3 resources we are going to continue on for the near future, dedicated to gear upgrading as well as improving your major artifact. On top of that, we are also going to be increasing the amount of fragments, modules, and Polycoron you have. So even if you are currently maxed out, when the patch comes around, you are going to be not full. So you are going to still fill that out to some extent, how much rare resources you have currently. I believe Andy actually has a screenshot of what players will see once they log into the game. If you could
they're cutting the resources that we already have.
Still working on audio technical difficulties. But this is exciting stuff, right, Alex? I mean, we're raising the cap of the resources that are going to be very valuable for players, so they'll be able to have more. And on top of which, we're streamlining, right? So it's very clear what the resources are for, so players know what to do with them, and they're not going to lose what they had earned, right? This is where that conversion system comes in.
Absolutely. We don't want you to. You have a bunch of rare resources. You had almost 10,000 as the current max. A lot of players had full amounts of that. And those resources were being randomly a part of gear upgrading, and we're streamlining that process. So we're removing the net need for those resources and shifting everything over to fragments and modules with the new upgrade system, which will be what we'll talk about next. But let's finish this encapsulated part first. So fragments and modules are going to be for gear upgrading, fragments are going to be used for gear purchasing, and fragments and Polycoron are going to be used for your major artifact improvement. The old system is gone on that upgrading and where you use those rare resources.
Yeah, Spider-Man is behind them.
That comes back to the point of like, okay, well, how are these new resources going to be distributed? Or how are the existing resources distributed? Dismantling gear, pretty much going to stay the same, but you're not going to get rare resources, and Polycoron is going to be almost a guaranteed if you're dismantling exotic quality. Obviously, the fragments and modules that you get from dismantling gear goes up based on the quality. Enemies.
Spider-Man sighting.
Enemies are going to be giving out more fragments more often, or in higher
Spider-Man
quantities more often. and it's going to be based on the size of enemy, difficulty of enemy. Your Adept Adaptoids is going to be giving out fragments more often than, let's say, your basic Synthoid. Mission rewards. All missions are going to have some amount of fragment reward, some amount of fragments as a base mission reward. The longer the mission,
On
the
Xbox.
larger amount that you're going to be getting. Strong boxes.
This is a dev build, but that is very interesting.
The box that's actually going to be giving out fragments now, going forward, is going to be the stockpile strong box, which is dedicated to resources.
What is happening?
You will be getting upgrade modules and fragments from that. Bronze, silver, gold, cash, DNA. These are all dedicated to certain gear types,
relax,
or
guys.
other types of rewards. They will not be a source
It's a
of
developer
fragments
build. It's not literally
because
going to be on
you can also
Xbox.
dismantle the gear, so small amounts. Gear and faction vendors is something we'll tie into at the very end of this, but the
It's
challenge card
funny.
rewards, there were some rare resource bundles. Rare resource bundles have been replaced with either a fragment bundle or a module bundle in larger quantities. And then it comes to the exotic resource bundle, which was the one resource I didn't say at the beginning. My bad. Uru. Uru is no longer a resource used for upgrading minor artifacts. The exotic resource bundle in the hero challenge card will now just be Polychoron in larger amounts. So with no need for these rare resources, what about the resource conversion on gear vendors? That's going to be the cool thing, because all of the section down below, the specialty offerings, are going to be now gear. And it's going to be specialty gear, kind of like the Wakanda gear vendor as a template, where it had PIM payload, it had vibranium payload, and it had either a vibranium or sonic melee gear piece. All gear vendors are going to kind of follow that template, and they're all going to have their own unique offerings. So it'll be interesting to see players go out there and find some little hidden gems.
You think they
and
should
all that
pay
kind of stuff.
Sony
So that is
Spider-Man can be
the
on other
high level
platforms?
of resource rework.
Come on, bro.
And we'll be going on to.
I think.
Come
we
on,
can hear
bro.
you now.
Can
Hope
we hear
so.
Andy? Is he alive yet?
Come on, bro.
Maybe.
Yeah. See. Yeah. See. I got
Andy,
it. I got it.
Andy got it.
Excellent.
Hey, he figured it
All
out.
right,
Oh, Andy solved it.
Sorry,
yeah,
Xbox
definitely would love-
players.
Yeah, hear from Andy.
It sucks,
and
but
get into
you ain't
some
getting 'em.
visual that we have. But kind of, a good summary, Alex. That was great stuff. Right, we're really making it more accessible for players, right? We're really making it very clear. This is what you use your upgrade modules for, and we're making sure that players have more fragments, because fragments are going to be, very used, and there's more.
Yeah, I'm doing a recap
vendors
after.
that should be interesting for players to buy. So overall, right, more resources, more accessibility, more streamlined, which should really help improve the flow, not just for new players, but right for existing players as is. And then all those extra resources they had all get converted over to fragments, but they're definitely going to want to have that going forward when you talk about the upgrade system.
Absolutely. And one other thing on for the fragments, you are definitely going to want your fragments. The fragment cost to upgrade is going to be something I go into, but the specialty offerings, because of their
Put the
cool
F's in the
nature,
chat for
are gonna be higher costed
Xbox.
in the gear vendor. So
Put the F's in the
fragments
chat.
going up, more fragments in your pool because of the other resources, streamlined stuff. No randomization on what type of resources you're getting. So on to upgrade. Our
Did
new
Andy have that visual you said? Do we have that?
Oh, yes.
Or
We do. We have a few screenshots.
Damn
now
shame.
people can hear me.
Oh, okay.
First of all,
I mean,
hi
I'm excited
everyone.
to talk about the next topic too. This is
I am.
sure.
I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
if you could, if
Yeah,
you
let
haven't
me-
shown the screenshot yet,
I
that'd
will
be
show
great.
them.
He was in an audio tech support.
No, I
man
was
for a
stuck
little
in-
bit
I
there.
think we're getting a
Yeah,
Spider-Man
I
screenshot,
will say
guys.
these screenshots are taken from like older builds, so anything can change. The usual spiel, but they are still screenshots. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the new gear upgrade section next,
Well,
right?
if you could show the login screen for the resources really quick before we move on to the gear.
Oh, I did show that.
Oh,
already.
never mind. Yeah, we're so yes, gear upgrade. So we have a screenshot of the gear upgrade. When you log in, you're going to see this. It's going to kind of give a brief overview of the gear upgrade. So you can consume an item in a slot to improve the power level of another item at a cost of fragments and modules. There are a couple of restrictions in there. The gear item can only, in order to improve an item or in order to consume an item to improve another one, it has to at least be epic quality. You can only improve items over power level 100, and depending on the rarity of the item you are consuming, you will either get a decrease to the upgrade cost or an increase. If you are using an epic to improve an exotic, you're going to get taxed a little bit. If you are using exotic to improve an epic, you're going to get a huge discount. So what is this going to be doing? Actually, let's talk about the UI first. So
Bring
as
me
you go
pictures
in,
of
if you
Spider-Man.
highlight, because we have another image for that one. That's why I remembered about the UI part.
The one with Black Widow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you go in, if you highlight or if you hover over a piece of gear and you have another gear that's actually that you can improve, you're going to see another button prompt. And when you click on that button prompt, it will show you all gear that is possible to upgrade or to consume into that gear. It will show you what's going to happen. It's going to show you like how much power level your current gear will go up, and it will also show you what your attributes will be after the fact. So if you can go to the next image, Andy, the next image is an example of consuming a higher quality item, and you can see that there is a significant fragment discount on that, but you can also see that the attributes stay the same. Consuming a higher quality item does not improve the attributes when you're upgrading. So the old system of upgrading 10 times and increasing the power level is gone. There are two really big immediate impacts on that. One, you no longer have to spend whatever random resource or one of the rare resources that we got rid of to improve it. Two, all perks will come on gear unlocked. Whether that's 1 or that's 3, you do not need to improve gear. You do not need to upgrade gear to have those perks unlocked. It will just be there, open, standard. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And then, so that falls into the other part of we want players to actually find good gear and not have to worry about going back to that place and re-rolling it over and over again. If you have that good gear, you can take it with you. You can upgrade it. You can move on to other higher power level items. So this all ties into our power level increase. Oh, before I get into power level increase, I'm sorry, there is another thing on my notes. Old gear. What happens to all of your old gear once this rolls around and you no longer have the upgrade system? If you have power level 130 gear in your bank or on your person, you will lose the upgrade, the little plus 10 bar, that's going to be gone. All perks will be unlocked. If you've upgraded that gear from 130 to 140 and it says plus 10, the plus 10 bar will go away. It will retain its 140. All of the perks will be unlocked. Whatever your gear is at the time of patch, that's what the gear will be after the fact. All perks will be unlocked. There you go. So if you want to upgrade any of your old gear before that gets up, if you want to kind of push it up, that's fine. It's a fine way to spend your resources, especially if you're maxed out. You're going to get a lot of that back.
Yeah, and there's a lot of wins with these changes, right, Alex? I mean, first of all, it's going to make the gear that players get when it drops way more enjoyable, accessible right away, because it's going to have the perks ready to rock and roll, right? So players are going to be able to enjoy that on gear when it lands. I think the bigger thing, right, as you mentioned, a big win and a focus for us was making sure with the upcoming power level increase that players can take the gear with them, right? They worked really hard. They've gotten a bunch of this really, great, whether you were playing mega hives or something else, this great content, and we wanted to make sure that the system, as you progress in your power level with this more challenging content, that you're able to take all that gear with you that you worked so hard to obtain. So that was another big win too. But I think, right, one point of clarity when we say we're not using the old system anymore, we still have, right, upgrading major artifacts, right? So that's still going from 1 to 10. So that's still more or less using the same pattern as before. That's not changing major artifacts, but all the gear, right, will use this new system.
That is correct. The major artifact will still be its existing system. It will still give you +1 to +10 power level on top of what the average of your gear collection is. That system will now use polychoron and fragments. Upgrading gear will use fragments and modules. That also includes minor artifacts. Minor artifacts will no longer use Uru. So yes, gear, when you get it, is immediately usable. Gear, if you like it, will now be able to improve to higher power levels, so you don't just throw it away. We want you to find gear that you like and take it with you to make that part of your collection. We don't want it to just be throwaway.
Yeah, players are going to have different play styles. You're going to have different, attributes and loadouts and things you like from the different gear sets, we want to make sure that you have a collection of them and that you can easily keep them and use them with you and create multiple builds, multiple ways to play with characters.
Absolutely.
The question from Leafy. So can you upgrade any gear to any power level? I think some more clarification.
There are some restrictions. Alex, you want to talk about those?
Yes. To reiterate the restrictions again, so I can put it in kind of a bullet point list, is the gear that you're consuming or you're upgrading has to at least be epic quality. That's minor artifacts and your 4 primary gear slots. The gear, in order to improve or upgrade or use the gear to upgrade, it has to at least be power level 100. So those are the 2 major restrictions right there.
Yeah.
Getting a rare ISO, a power level 12, you're not gonna upgrade that.
And Lord Nerdy has asked, so can you still upgrade? You can still upgrade an item's power level then.
You can still upgrade an item's power level. You just have to consume a higher power level item to do that in this right now. So instead of doing everything is encapsulated, a piece of gear can only go up 10. A piece of gear has unlimited power level increase. Whenever we increase the power cap, all gear can eventually reach that point as long as it falls under the 2 restrictions I stated.
Let's give an example. Let's say I have a piece of epic gear and it is power level 110 for the sake of conversation. And I really like this gear. It has awesome perks on it. It's useful. I want to use it for my character I'm focused on right now, my hero. But now I've played the game and I've progressed to power level 140 with my other gear. I don't want to leave this gear behind. In the old system, it could only get up to 120. In the new system, I could go get a piece of power level 140 gear, 150 gear, 160 gear, and I can use that gear in the new system that the team made to upgrade that power level 110 gear with the associated scaling costs, right, of upgrade modules and fragments. So that's an example of, before you could only raise it 10 levels from what it dropped as. Now, as long as it meets the requirements Alex talked about, you can take it up all the way, which is really exciting.
And you actually brought up one thing I really want to touch on and expand a little bit there, Mike, which was the scaling costs. When you upgrade gear, you pay the upgrade costs. The upgrade cost is not going to be a flat cost. It's not going to be like 100 fragments, 1 upgrade module. You basically pay per power level you are improving gear. So if you are improving gear from 100 to 101 and it's the same quality, it will be 100 fragments, 10 upgrade modules. If you are improving gear from 100 to 102 and it is the same quality, it's going to be 200 fragments, 20 upgrade modules. But that cost per power level starts to change as we get into power level 120, power level 130, power level 140. That starts to escalate. And then, of course, we factor in if you're using a higher or lower quality item to infuse into the other gear. So you're going to see an associated cost with that power level you increase. So I have 130. I want to upgrade this power level 110 epic item that you brought an example, Mike. Yep. I'm going to be paying 10 power level of cost to upgrade that item.
Yep. So, and we'll definitely dive into that more later. We still have more things to cover, but remember, Alex said before, we're making sure we increase the cap on how many fragments you can have. We're making sure to give you lots of fragments. We're dropping more fragments as you play the game in so many different places. We're making sure you're going to have the resources you need to, use the upgrade system, right?
Absolutely. We're going to make sure that everywhere has a known source of fragments. And again, comes back to the whole point. All missions will have fragments as a mission reward, with longer missions or more difficult missions having a higher amount.
All right. Should we go to the next topic, Alex?
Yes. Power cap increase, which will tie right into everything like that. So obviously, we are increasing the power level cap. The current cap right now is all gear can reach 140 as long as you upgrade it. That is going to be our new soft cap. That is going to be our new minimum. All gear will eventually get you to 140. Our first milestone after 140 is power level 150. The gear getting to 150 can only be achieved by completing the mission chains for Family Reunion and the Claw Raid. So those mission chains will give you rewards as above. If you are power level 150, all of your gear is power level 140, These mission chains will give you gear above that you can use to infuse into other gear, or it will help take you to the other, take you up higher.
Remember,
That is,
10 of those power levels are from the major artifact. That's why Alex is explaining the power level difference there.
yes, it's like there's a +10, there's a +1 to +10 off on the side from the major artifact. I'm talking just about
Just
the
the
gear's
gear.
power level. Yes, the current power level right now is 140. We're going to 165. So from 140 to 150, you're going to want to play the Omega level threat family reunion and Claw Discord and gear. Once you get to 150, in order to get from 150 to 165, you have to play the Elite Claw raid. And the power increase is going to come from that mission chain by itself. But we don't want you to stop doing the other ones either. So the big change on power level increase across these 3 missions, Omega level family reunion, Discordant raid, the Discordant sound raid, the Elite Discordant sound raid, is these missions. The mission reward will, family reunion is going to change. The mission reward from all of these 3 missions will be its associated gear dropping, matching your power level. So the ISO 8 from the family reunion is gone. It is now going to drop Omega gear, random, every time.
Every time.
Okay.
Every time.
Every completion of Omega level threat family reunion will drop
Omega gear.
Omega
Yes.
gear.
That's a dub. Okay.
Absolutely. It will drop, matching your power level to the slot it's associated. I've powered up. I'm like 152 or something.
I'm quiet because I'm trying to
I
listen.
play
They're
the
explaining
Omega
a lot
level
of stuff.
threat, and I get rare, and I get a melee gear. The melee gear will match the highest power level I have achieved pushing forward. So I can use it as, I can go back to the family reunion and get alternate roles, or I can use it to infuse and upgrade my older gear. So it becomes a source of, I don't have to waste the gear from the weekly mission chain to improve older gear. I can replay family reunion. I can replay Claw. I can replay the Claw Elite as infusion material for my older gear.
Right. So players. So the big difference is on the weekly mission chain, you can advance your power level by getting gear that will increase in power level. But in addition to that, you're saying, Alex, that players can grind the mission if they want, and they can
Absolutely.
grind it to earn not more powerful gear. They have to wait to the next week for more powerful gear, but they can earn gear from that mission to either look for different roles that they're specifically looking for, or again, this is giving them more gear that they could use with the upgrade system for their other sets.
Absolutely. We want to give you a way to improve your other sets quickly without wasting your power level increase you're getting from mission chain. And again, we want to give you more roles. We want to give you more chances to find the role that you really want on that gear. The Omega level set, we wanted you to, first of all, we'll get into that in a little bit, but here's a teaser. Hulk is getting his cryo perks on Omega level gear, and we want you to be able to have more chances at getting Hulk's cryo gear.
Hulk's
The
getting
Discordant
cryo.
set has twice as many perks as the Omega level set. So if we told you, oh, you're going to have to play that twice as much to get all of the roles or to find the roles you want, nah, that's too much. You can go in, you can play it again, you can get additional roles on it.
Right, that's
Chat is
exciting.
going crazy over that news, by the way.
I'm glad.
Oh, we still got more news, right, Alex?
Oh yeah, we haven't
Cryo
even
Hawk
touched,
builds
we haven't even
incoming.
touched gear. This is just the baseline. It's like, hey, missions, fragments, power level increase. All right,
What's
that's what we
next?
talked about. All right, so on to gear updates. Let's start off with the more subtly interesting stuff. So there are 4 families of hero gear out there. We'll go into details on those later. But the one I want to bring up is the epic quality hero gear set that you can get from threat sectors and villain sectors. With Black Panther and Hawkeye to an extent, you could get dual status perks on their melee and range gear. We have now made that the de facto standard, that all other heroes have a chance of getting dual status on their epic hero set gear from these areas. They have a unique name, they only come in epic quality, they have their associated attributes, and they'll have fixed perks. So with Black Panther, I believe it was Plasma and Shock, and I think with Hulk, it's like Gamma and Cosmic or something like that. So
Yeah, something like
that'll
that.
be something like that. It'll be really interesting to go for.
Oh,
Number 2,
that's interesting.
hero gear that roll 2 stats is going to get a bump in their minimum stats that they can achieve. So with the loss, not the loss, with the removal of the complication of the +10 upgrade system,
Yeah.
we want the stats to be. We want the gear that rolls 2 attributes to be viable in comparison. Those attributes, when you upgraded them +10, had a much bigger application. You could push those numbers up higher.
Yeah.
We're removing that, so the ceiling and the floor for 2 attribute hero gear is being pushed up anywhere between 10 to 20%. But this is on the higher end. You're going to really see that when we get into the power level 20 and 30 area. And then when we talk about hero gear, there's a lot of hero gear talks going on. Black Panther, when we made the hero gear for Black Panther, we were able to set a bar. We were able to set themes to match what Hawkeye and Kate did, and that helped. And Black Panther helped us establish those themes for each of the families, each of the 4 families that I talked about. And we're working on bringing all of the heroes to that standard. And with that, and with the next patch coming out, we are going to be making more perk edits and updates to those families for the other heroes, so we can get closer to that bar that Black Panther set.
Now it's exciting. It's just, again, the team is always looking for opportunities and how we can make not just the new content better, but how we can make it for all the heroes, right? How do we raise the quality bar? How do we give players more of what they want? How do we move the needle forward? And this is just one of the ways in which things are progressing.
Absolutely. And so before I get into a couple of the details, and all of these are going to be in the patch notes, and we will definitely hit some of the more interesting changes. That comes back to the other point of, with Black Panther making a theme, so on the war table, it always says hero set gear. And we are working to making sure that that is not the only set of words that you see. We're working to make a title, a theme per family that will be easily identifiable, that you know that the Storm Ranger set comes from this, and the Satorian set comes from this, and that the Operative set comes from this. And we're working on making sure that those themes match that title. And with these updates, we're getting much closer to nailing down that. So it's a big push of reward clarity on the war table across the board, and to allow players a better understanding without having to go to a spreadsheet on the internet, which are well done, by the way. I've seen those spreadsheets. They're aces. They're almost as good as mine. So with that out there, a couple of the really interesting points. Again, we want the hero gear to be unique, hero specific, and thematic. But to that point, we are removing generic perks because those belong on other sets or other gear. So Jarvis perks being removed from hero gear, yes, Jarvis is powerful. It belongs on Hive Mind. Hive Mind gear and Jarvis gear are where Jarvis Barrier belong. So it being on hero gear, it made both sets weaker. And by changing that, we make both sets stronger. Hive Mind has its own individuality, and Hero Set Gear has its own individuality. So with Miss Marvel, her Storm Ranger set is seeing the biggest addition. Her Storm Ranger's Regalia and Storm Ranger Adornments is removing Jarvis and replacing it with Embiggen Impulse, increasing stun damage while embiggened, allowing you to do takedowns more often. Her Marvis Regalia is removing the generic regen perk for Valorous Spirit. Had a conversation about this. It's like, is that really a good change? Yes. You lose a little bit of heroic regen, and what you gain is you or any ally affected by Team Spirit gets their crit damage increased. The other two perks on Marvis Regalia increase crit chance and increase damage overall for allies affected by Team Spirit. We're pushing that the Marvelous set is your support build. It is your Miss Marvel, I am going to make everybody hit like a truck build. Storm Ranger Coat of Arms and Storm Ranger's Crest are going to replace their generic regen perk for support and powering, giving you a moderate chance to get an intrinsic burst using Team Spirit. So use your heroic support chance of getting your heroic energy back. And Storm Ranger body armor gets a further update to replace the other perks with Embiggened Blessing, increased crit chance while embiggened, and Polymorphic Reserve, increasing her max polymorph energy limit. Let's move on to Captain America.
Real quick, Alex, everyone is
yes.
loving this. Can we keep Alex? We stan. Alex needs to come back. We love Alex. Just wanted to throw that out there for you.
Great. Now I'm nervous.
Yeah, Alex is usually active in the Discord.
Right.
He's
Captain America.
he's pretty
Helm of
good.
the
Guys,
Him and Dan are pretty good.
It's a big page. Helm of the Super Soldier, Safeguard of the Super Soldier, replacing generic regen perk for Brooklyn Blar Quake, increasing stun damage while Brooklyn Blar is active. So if any of you were actually stuck on the Wasteland Patrol needing to do takedowns in the Wasteland, I suggest this gear, Brooklyn Brawler, and the skill that allows you to do takedowns while Brooklyn Brawler at low health, even if you don't increase the stun damage. This is just going to allow you to do it way faster. Rampart of the Nomad, replacing the third perk, it was another regen perk with Eagle's Cry, increasing Rally Cry's duration. More mechanical additions to help start making those themes. Hey, the Super Soldier theme is really dead set on making you do more with Brooklyn Brawler and stuff. And Rampart of the Nomad is trying to help you keep your defenses up with Rally Cry. Stabilizer of the Super Soldier and Conduit of the Super Soldier are replacing Defender's Charge and Captain Combo. Those are just getting moved to a different set. We're not actually taking those out. Those are good perks. But they're better situated on something else. With Powered Precision increasing ranged power crit chance, and Rally Cry Boon increasing your crit chance while Rally Cry is active. Iron Man, Superior Mark 15 Bastion, replacing Jarvis for obvious reasons. With Skygar's Reprieve, granting intrinsic energy when picking up health packs. And we are replacing the health regen while overcharged. That's more of a generic perk. We're going to move that to the RNG pool with Restoration Beam, which enemies defeated with your Unibeam drop regen packs. Kind of ties together on that one.
Question before
yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you. Are these changes
absolutely.
retroactive, or are existing gear going to get
That's a great question.
Yeah.
All of these perks, unfortunately, are not retroactive. These perks, the way that your perks have rolled right now, are how they are, and that is not a always negative thing. That when once I get to the perk alterations thing at the bottom of this, that is actually going to benefit many of you that still have a reactive buff.
But it's also, again, in terms of a choice too, while some players would absolutely want these changes right away, other players, again, worked very hard to earn this gear and are playing a specific way with a specific build. We don't necessarily want to take something away from them that they worked very hard to earn.
Yes. It is a choice of do we force it all on players and everybody plays the same, or do we allow players the opportunity to go get a new one? And that latter one is a much stronger option. We don't want to force you. Right. It's like, oh, all of this gear that you have, we're just going to completely change it. It's going to retain what it is right now. But that option is out there if you want to go get the new one. Mm-hmm. Some players may want the old one, like with Marvelous Regalia. I'm not one of those. But it's still there.
It's going to be a mix, right? It's going to be a mix. So players have the choice. You still have the gear that you have right now. It's not going to be changed. It's totally there. But the new gear is available as well, if that's what you want to go after, which I think a lot of people will too, because these changes are really fantastic.
Awesome, and thank you.
Yeah, and the community is they say that's the right way to go, to not have it retroactive. So perfect.
Yeah. Give the players the choice.
I don't think they accidentally showed Spider-Man.
Really quick, one more on Iron Man before I go on to Thor is Centurion's Mark 15 RT node and Centurion's Mark 13 Muon Ray. I replaced the missile rate of fire increase because it didn't stack with other rate of fire increase perks. We'll get to that later. We're going to fix that. It frustrated me the most. But we are going to replace it with Overcharge Breaker, which further increases damage while Overcharge is active. Thor, Armor of Asgard Scion, replace Jarvis and Evade Distance, that's Hive Mind gear, with Odin Force Recovery, which increases health regen drastically while you have Odin Force active, and Warrior's Fury Impulse, increasing all stun damage while Warrior's Fury is active. Cincture of the Asgard Scion and Girdle of the Thunderer, these two are tied together. So Cincture of the Asgard Scion replace Jarvis. Oh no, it's the other two that are tied together. Rewind that. Cincture of the Asgard Scion replace Jarvis, Hive Mind, with Azure's Blitz, increasing unarmed damage by 30%. Girdle of the Thunder replaced Odin Force Regen perk because it wasn't activating on all attacks. We're going to be fixing that later. With Odin's Flight, which increases Odin Force Regen while flying. Hilt of the Asgard Scion, this is the one that was tied to it. We're removing Odin's Flight because it's getting moved to the other gear, and we're replacing it with Ettri's Breaker, which increases all hammer damage when used as a melee weapon. So obviously Girdle of the Thunderer and Hilt of the Asgard Scion are supposed to be synergies there. I forgot how to actually structure that sentence.
That's okay. I'm sure
They're supposed to be used together.
Copious notes for the pop quiz we're going to have at the end of
We're gonna have a exactly. Just for everyone's knowledge, this is gonna be in written form eventually.
Yeah.
But
I want to talk about all the fun. I want to talk about all the fun stuff
exactly.
first.
And just to talk a little bit more about that point, Alex, because I know there's some discussion about melee
This is very technical,
range,
so
some of these perks
bear with them. But
that,
Alex does know what he's doing, so
this
does sound interesting.
Two.
Yeah,
Like we made some steps before.
Also,
this is
enjoy
step
this
two.
sneak peek of
Melee
Spider-Man
being
at the bottom.
stronger as a viable option
Right behind
for
me.
every hero is one of the top 3 bullet points for all of the perk changes, for all of the gear updates, especially when we get into discordant gear and all that later. Not for this not for this or stream or whatever.
Yeah.
But melee being a stronger option for all heroes is a primary pillar going forward for new perk creation as well as perk edits. We want melee. Yeah, we want melee to be good. We want melee to be viable. And it's not just about melee damage. It's about armor. It's about hit react armor. It's about all of those things. It's about making sure that status effects don't just cover your combo enders, making sure that status effects don't just cover these certain attacks, making sure you have more options to make melee viable. I want Hulk, I want Captain America, I want Thor to go in and actually punch enemies in the face. I don't want them sitting back with the other characters because that's a better option. I want that option to be viable. Right. Yeah, I want there to be
both builds, and the players, you can play the way you want. You can see all the hard work Alex and the team have been moving in this direction, improving these things, and very much, the community's feedback is always helpful in helping.
He actually will have a pizza-related emote.
The things that we need to.
That's one of the only things that did leak about Spider-Man.
That the team is
He's getting a pizza-related
really
emote.
Awesome to finally being able to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And so 2 more bullet points, and then we'll go on to a couple of the more blanket perk edits.
Yes.
So with Black Widow, Natalia's Cloak and Natalia's Embrace replace the Jarvis, Hive Mind, with Stealth Amplifier, increasing status buildup while invisible. And then with Red Room Grass, we replace Jarvis, Hive Mind, with Infiltrator's Vengeance. Love this perk, which gives you a blanket chance to generate intrinsic orbs upon defeating enemies. I think it's somewhere around 12 to 15%. Any enemy defeated has a chance to drop an intrinsic orb. I'm having a lot of fun with that one, especially with my constant invisibility build. So,
Nice.
onto blanket perk edits. This is moving again towards we want to make sure that there's a balance. We actually want to make sure there is a choice between options, because a lot of things feel like this is just far exceeding other options over other things. So first, status effects. All status effects are going to be covered for all heroes. So while I would love to take credit for that, our combat team worked very hard with me to make sure that all status effects for all attack types are covered for all heroes. So
Finally.
Omega Gear, Hulks are going to get cryo on their Omega Gear. Those are going to be options. Now, some of those status effects are not going to be in the normal RNG pools. We haven't really touched that. So Hulk is not going to get cryo just randomly out in the wild, but he is going to get cryo from Omega and Hive Mind. Hive Mind's whole theme being it has the basic 6 status effects for all heroes. Now you're going to have that. Iron Man's going to get his shock ranged. Kamala's going to get her plasma everything, I think, or something. I can't remember if it was a ranged or
Oh,
melee.
yeah.
Yeah, Captain America, same thing. Hulk or Thor is going to get his plasma. All heroes, all status effects.
People are loving
And some-
that. Loving
yeah.
it.
Some of the specialty gear that you can find in gear vendors also are covering that. I believe there's shock status effect always available somewhere. Can't remember where I put it. It's like
That's okay. We got to save something for next
yeah,
time.
and you know,
Alex.
Ellie, yeah, and even if I did remember it, maybe I wouldn't say. On to so again, we are taking like this is feedback coming in, not just feedback from the community, but also feedback from the players here. Like me as a player, I'm very frustrated when I can't get these status effects because of X, because of Y, and players mirrored that sentiment. So this is directly coming in.
That big win.
Players,
They are not
Players
showing
wanted
Art of the
this.
Zoo. No,
there
they
you
are
go.
never showing Art of the Zoo.
Well, they still have to wait for the update.
Yeah, there was
Okay,
a question like
that's-
when this is all coming in. That everything you're talking, or most of the specific stuff you're talking about, is coming in the 30th, right?
Correct. This
Yes.
is all coming in the update in the future. All
Yes.
right.
Not that far though. We're getting close. We're
Not
getting
that far.
closer.
Yeah, time is a human construct and just happens.
So all this is
So,
not happening on the 30th.
There.
Okay.
On that note, we also did a couple of perk edits to address trigger condition. So we have a bunch of trigger conditions of like defeat enemy, parry attack, dodge attack, take damage, and we have adjusted some of those perk values based on feedback and internal testing on the difficulty of some of those triggers. So reactive, taking damage, is a passive, absolutely non-player agency type of thing. You get hit, you get punched, you get shot. Its base chance of actually happening on perks that ever say when take damage is being lowered to the worst base chance.
Sup, Pino?
Now, and that's why I bring up damage, the reactive buff that people were bringing up before. That doesn't touch gear that you have right now. If you upgrade gear, it will. You will get the new value if you upgrade gear, but it's not being lowered by 10%. It's being lowered by 5% base chance. It's still affected by proficiency. Yeah, that's the attribute that does it. Whatever affects perk chance, it is still affected by that. It's being lowered down. Now, what about the other trigger conditions? Parry, block, those are getting updated like 1 to 2%. But the two top chances is teammate revival will be number 1. Anything of being revived or reviving a teammate is going to be up there at a base chance of 55%, scaling up based on quality of gear and proficiency. It will have the highest chance of actually triggering any perk with that. With right below that being status kill or status defeat. Defeat enemy under status condition X, Y, whatever, and you get this benefit. So if you still want damage buff, easy access, find defeat enemy under X status effect to get damage buff, because it is going to have the second highest base perk chance of actually happening. With kill or with defeat being relatively low, with parry, block, and there was one more in the middle. I think those were the critical hits. All the critical hits are kind of hovering somewhere in the middle, with faultless buff being, I think, 1% behind the melee and ranged one. And attributes. So obviously attributes are being pushed up, and there was the edits to attributes coming up. With power level increase, their attributes are definitely scaling up. With less attributes actually scaling up on minor artifacts. With some minor artifacts seeing a plateau of some time. So more of your attributes are going to be pushed onto your gear. Those are going to be the largest attribute pushes in there. And I'm going to be really interesting to see how Thor, I don't know, break 30k. What was the limit that we saw? I don't know. They're going to have like 30k heroic rating
I'm
or
sure
something like
players
that.
are going to surprise us.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I'll see a 100k Thor heroic rating out there. I'm pretty sure.
We'll find
Yeah.
out.
So, I think I covered everything. I mean, again, I don't want to do all the bullet points.
It's okay.
It's-
That leaves
it's a-
time for some Q&A,
yeah.
right?
It's a word salad, so please look forward to that. And again, I am only discussing.
I
right
care
now
about gear.
perk edits. I'm not talking
Gear
about
is very
perk
important
fixes. That'll be
for
in
the future of the
patch notes.
game.
that's a big list too.
Awesome. So much
That's
exciting
great.
stuff coming down the pipe.
A lot of people are really excited. And if you guys have any like questions about all this, please let us know right now. I will. Is that like all the things you wanted to talk about, Alex? Because
If you want to see
I don't know,
Spider-Man,
there's all
look
things he
behind
wants to
me.
talk about. I think
No,
that's
I can talk. I can talk. I can talk about more. What are you talking about?
We gotta save something for next time.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I'll talk about more.
I will say, so I'm seeing a ton of where's Spider-Man, where's Spider-Man, where's Spider-Man. Next week's stream, we are going to be showing Spider-Man and some of his outfits.
Finally.
Ooh.
So tune in
Happy
next
now,
week
guys.
at 2 p.m. We're going to be showing some of Spider-Man's
Pictures
outfits.
of Spider-Man next week.
We are going to be talking about the Claw Raid. Alex will be back to talk about the Claw Raid and the Claw Raid gear and the rewards there. Phil will also be back to talk about the Claw Raid. I know a lot of you guys miss Phil. Phil's in chat. Hi, Phil, by the way. Hi. So next week's going to be pretty meaty in terms of stuff that we're going to talk about. I hope we can fit it all in 1 hour. If we can't, then we're just gonna go over an hour.
Spam that like button if you're a Spider-Man fan. Let's go.
So tune in next week.
Spider-Man. We're finally going to get them pictures of Spider-Man.
For Claw Raid stuff. And I'm gonna say this tomorrow too. We're not gonna play through the Claw Raid discordant sound for you guys. That is for you guys to play on your own. We're not gonna spoil anything. Puzzles are for you guys to figure out. But we will talk about high-level vision, show some concept art, and then talk about rewards. Alex will talk about rewards that he can't wait to talk about, right?
They're exciting.
I've been taking pictures. I want to just talk about things.
Awesome. Anything else that you wanted to say, Alex or Mike? What day next week? It's Friday next week, so I don't know what day that is.
We'll figure it out. But
yeah.
No, as always, right? It's so exciting to be able to share, all the great work that the team has been doing. I'm really happy, Alex. Right, we were able to get you on here to share. Alex is a big part of all the amazing perk and gear and improvements we've been talking about, and the resource changes. And again, really looking for opportunities to streamline the game, to make it more accessible, to make it clear to players what they need to do, how they can progress, creating more options, right? More agency, so you understand here are the different builds or sets, or what do you want to chase down, or how can you get it. So really can't wait for the next big release and the power level increase and the amazing new content. I think players are really going to have a great time.
Awesome. Thanks to everybody. I read everybody's feedback. I really do. I genuinely do read everybody's feedback. I'm super happy to read everybody's feedback. There's a lot of really interesting ideas. There's a lot of really interesting highlights on what people dislike about gear, what people like about gear. And I read that because I play this game differently than everybody else. And I'm just trying to highlight the fact that we can all be happy the way we play this game. I do want to end with one comment of Dark Thorn is a skill I don't see anybody use on Black Widow whenever I watch videos. And I am very sad.
So
check it out.
So everyone check out Dark Thorn.
Dark Thorn.
Is that Alex? What is your Twitter?
I don't have one.
He's
Smart
on
man.
our Discord if you want to talk to him. Talk to him on Discord. Good to see Andy smiling. Oh, thanks.
But as always, you could always reach out to Andy, right? He knows how to find us. He
He
has all our info. He chases us down daily basis.
I bug them all the time, and they
He's
know.
really good at it.
I also muted myself a little bit there, but I'm back, you guys. I'm back.
Whew.
Cool. Well, if there's nothing else, we can just bring it to next week, right?
Sure.
All right. So, reminder: next week, Spider-Man outfits, Claw Raid gear stuff. Hopefully, we can all fit it in 1 hour. Alex will be back. Phil will be here. You guys are stuck with me again. But thank you to everyone for coming by. Our streams are starting again for this update, and we can't wait to show you guys more.
Exciting. Thanks, Andy.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. that is a wrap for the dev stream. Definitely interesting. Let me put this up for all the Spider-Man fans. You're gonna have to be satisfied with this tease until next week. So for those that are coming in, Spider-Man was teased today. As you see behind me, there's a clear, this is Spider-Man in the character menu. You can see he also got the Spider-Man, he's got the nameplate. Next week, they're going to officially do a real Spider-Man reveal. They're going to be showing multiple outfits, as well as talking about the raid and some of the rewards for that. Now, this stream was mainly focused on gear. They're making a lot of changes, and it's going to be pretty technical. So they're going to have all this written up in a blog so you can read through it and see the full amount of gear changes. The biggest thing, which we knew, is that Uru, all those other resources, they're going to get rid of them. Instead, the main resources are going to be fragments, upgrade modules, and polychloron. You're going to use, I believe, the fragments and the polychloron to upgrade your major artifacts, and you're going to use fragments and upgrade modules to upgrade your gear as well as your minor artifacts. So while I'm here, let me go on Reddit. They usually have like a full stream recap up by now. I'll just leave this Spider-Man screenshot behind me while I'm looking. Enjoy. Yes, it says press A. This is a dev build that they were using on for Xbox. Spider-Man is still a PlayStation exclusive. Sorry if Xbox players got hope. There is no hope. If you want to play with Spider-Man and Marvel's Avengers, you got to buy a PlayStation. There is no way around it. Let me see if they have the recap up yet. Let me look under new. It might take a while because Alex is very knowledgeable about gear, and that was a lot. Mostly I'm seeing people posting about Spider-Man. So no official recap yet. But from what I remember, that was the main thing. There's no longer going to be. They're going to be changing the Omega level threat drops so that no longer are you going to be getting ISOs for subsequent completions. Thank God the blue ISOs are going away. You're going to be getting randomized Omega gear so that your time is not being completely wasted. It sounds like they're really incentivizing you to actually replay the raid, replay the OLT, because you're going to want to get that high level gear so that you can increase your power level cap. And you're going to be increasing your power level, of course, using the new system. You can infuse essentially your gear, and that's going to get you to that new cap of 165. All right, Aqua, get that schoolwork done. Appreciate you. Omega gear is terrible. The point, well, I got a few pieces that are okay, but the main point is that you're going to, because the gear is going to be dropping because it's going to be high level end game content, the gear that you get, you're going to be able to use it to upgrade the stuff that you do want. So the stuff that you do want to keep, you're going to be able to use that stuff. You're going to be able to upgrade it with the stuff that you don't want to keep. So they're encouraging you to farm. So that's actually a good thing. That's one of the things we've been asking for. There's currently no reason. It's a looter, but there's no end game loop right now. There's there's nothing replayable. There's nothing really farmable. It's all pointless. So now you have a reason to actually level up and farm the stuff. And they're also making changes to the perks as well. Champion system is not something they're going to be doing anytime soon. Unfortunately, probably something you got to look out for next year. But the other big change is that all characters are going to have access to all status effects. So that means Cryo Hawk. That's going to be a thing. Also, the Black Panther gear. For those that don't know, Black Panther has epic quality gear that comes with dual status effects. So you can do the battery effect just on one gear piece. For instance, you have a range piece that does both shock and plasma for the daggers. That's going to be applied to all the characters. All the characters are going to get gear just like that. That's another dub. But I wish I was in the chat. They had a chat last night in the Discord. I wasn't there. It was I think it was around midnight. They were in the Discord. They actually did a voice call, and they were talking about cosmetics. They were talking about a bunch of stuff. Because I have questions that I want to ask directly and get answers about, like locking stats with gear, locking perks. For example, farming War for Wakanda gear is really annoying because you can only get certain stats on the gear. It's completely locked. Like on melee pieces, you can only get might, you can't get valor, you can't get precision. That's bad. Also, you can't get certain perks, like you can't get targeted buff on a vibranium range piece, but you can get targeted buff on sonic range pieces. I also wanted to ask him about all the nerfs to farming they've been doing. Like, you used to be able to farm corrupted vibranium by reloading checkpoint, but they nerfed that. I want to see if that's something they're going to keep doing in the future, or they're going to finally let us have a farm loop. Yeah, Alex is very technical, but he said it himself. He's not the best talker. So that's why this is probably going to be easier to digest in written form, but I'm simplifying it as much as possible from what I remember. Spider-Man does indeed look very dope. No sonic payload. Yeah, that's another thing. No, they don't have certain payloads. I definitely would like more than the current amount of payloads. But yeah, once again, Spider-Man official reveal is next week. Next Friday, dev stream, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. We're going to get to see Spider-Man outfits, and they're going to be talking about the raid and go more into depth about that, as well as some of the rewards. As you see behind me, it is, of course, Spider-Man in the character selection menu. And again, no, he is not going to be on Xbox. They also said that they are aware that melee is trash compared to range. Didn't say it quite like that, but he did say that they are aware that melee needs to be improved, so they are committed to making changes to melee. people have made a bunch of feedback about what they want for melee. Specifically, they want all melee attacks to do status, not just on combo finishers, everything like that. He said that's going to be addressed. All of these changes that they're going to make aren't going to be, from what I heard, from what I remember, they're not all going to be on the 30th on that update in terms of gear and characters. I'm guessing like the changes to melee is one of those things, but mostly everything else is going to be in the patch on the 30th. New UI changes, the new gear upgrading system. Caleb, did they talk about swinging? Or no, this was a gear stream. This stream was all about gear and quality of life stuff. They did not talk about Spider-Man. The only thing they said about Spider-Man is that they're going to show his outfits next week on their dev stream. What's up, Kevin? Who's post what Spider-Man thing? What are you talking about? You go to Niagara Falls for school? Oh, that sounds nice. Who is Spider-Man? Spider-Man is Peter Parker. You weird for clickbaiting that pick? What the hell are you talking about? Bangers only. What pick am I clickbaiting? Who's revealing Spider-Man? Crystal Dynamics is revealing Spider-Man next week. I'm giving him a chance to explain himself. What are you talking about? What pick am I clickbaiting? You guessing they're letting every character get multiple status effects based on Captain Marvel in the future, based on the things she could do? That could be why. You don't play, but you're excited. Only want the game to succeed. Yeah, definitely. So I have to obviously see all this stuff in game, but I do like that Alex is currently in charge of gear, seems to be passionate and know what he's talking about. The one obstacle that, and Alex mentioned this before, is that he's had to convince the higher ups to get out of the way essentially and let him work on gear and do what he wants with gear. And feedback is going to be really important. So when the update happens on the 30th and when they roll out all the gear stuff, if you like it, let them know, let Alex know, tell them what you think about it. I'm obviously be doing the same as a content creator, because if the gear actually is good, if the changes they make are good, if they get that good feedback, then Alex's higher ups are going to get off his back about it and let him do his thing. From what you've seen in the screenshot, there's no gear loadouts. They've said this many months ago at this point. Loadouts are something that is going to be in the future. It is not going to be in the current update. They made this very, very clear. It's disappointing, I know, but before Black Panther came out, many times they have explained they do not expect to have gear loadouts ready. It was not on the roadmap. It's something that's probably going to be out next year, if I had to guess. But yeah, no multiple loadouts. They just did the UI to have so that the infrastructure is in place, and it's something they're going to add down the line. So the pick is real. You're talking about the pick behind me? Yes, this is a pick from the actual stream. I guess you came in late and didn't see it, but at the beginning of the stream, they showed this picture when they were explaining the changes to gear that we're going to see when we start up the game. And behind it, obviously, is Spider-Man. This is from the actual stream. I just took a screenshot of it and put it in. So if you thought that this pic behind me was fake, that explains what you're saying, clickbaiting. But in the future, if you have a question, don't be a dumbass. Just ask me instead of making accusations that I'm clickbaiting or doing whatever. Don't assume negative intentions. Ask for clarity. Is the picture behind you real? Where's it from? And I will happily explain, yeah, this was from the stream. They put it in the beginning when they were explaining gear. I took a screenshot for people that missed it and put it up. So people that want to see what Spider-Man looks like ahead of next week can get that teaser. That's all. I'm not going to ban you because you clarified and explained the confusion, but just going forward, and that applies to everybody, don't assume negative intentions. Be mature, be an adult. Just ask the question if you need clarity or you're confused about something. From what I could tell you, the nameplate does look good. The stream actually changed your life? I told you it would. Every stream will change your life if it involves me. But you're a child. Even children can be mature emotionally. DLC review trailer, no. The only thing they said coming next week is his outfit reveal. They're going to show some outfits in the next dev stream. They didn't say anything about a trailer. If there is a trailer, it's probably going to be the week after. I mean, they have to do it eventually. They have to do a trailer eventually, but it's been unusual in the case of Spider-Man because with all the other DLCs, we got trailers months before they came out. But with Spider-Man, they're literally waiting until the last minute. So we're in the first week of November. This is the cleanest look at Spider-Man we've gotten. So second week of November, they're going to show his skins on stream. So I'm guessing the third week of November, we'll get some actual gameplay. And then the final week, we'll get the actual DLC. Unfortunately, well, when I say we, of course, I mean PlayStation owners, Xbox and PC and Stadia, you're getting the claw raid and the gear upgrading and all that good stuff. We're getting Spider-Man. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Can't wait to see what they think of. Oh, yeah, Eternals. Yeah, I got to go in a few minutes because I have to run down to my local theater to see Eternals. But I will, of course, be giving my post-theater reaction on Twitter. Follow me there, Sadat the Gamer. And I'm doing an official spoiler review next week. It's going to be on Wednesday. I'm going to do it with Doomkiller HD. So be on the lookout for that. I think it's going to be a live stream again, like I did for my Venom review. So come hang out. We'll talk about it, ask some questions. Should be fun. When I say PlayStation, that means PlayStation. PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Will we get a fix for the 92% bug? I hope so. Good stream. Thank you, B Waters. I enjoyed it. Is this actually real? Yes, this is from the dev stream earlier. They showed the screenshot at the beginning of the stream. I made sure I downloaded it for later use. You think Yuri's going to be the voice? Yeah, he might be. Who knows? No spoilers for Eternals. Yeah, no spoilers. I'm going to see it literally in less than an hour. Next week will definitely be interesting. Thanks to that, Euron. Appreciate you, Night Time. Yeah, definitely curious which skins they're going to show next week for Spider-Man. Definitely want to know about his traversal as well. That's what everyone wants to know. What's his traversal going to be? I'm guessing either third week of November, or they're just going to literally just wait until we actually play it to show us his traversal. But I would guess it's going to be third week of November. We're going to be able to actually see his traversal. So what you're hearing, all the missions we grinded will only affect the level 150 gear, and new stuff will upgrade on our gear. Yeah, so the way it's going to work is that in order to increase your power level by getting to beyond the new cap, you're going to need to farm the raid and the Omega level threat. That is going to be the only way to get the higher level gear that you can use, that you can then use to go beyond. They also are, I think they said they're going to expand to the Mega Hive, but it's not ready yet. So for now, you're going to be farming primarily the Omega level threat and the claw raid, the normal and the elite version. What Spider-Man movie skin do I want the most? I want that Iron Spider. That's what I want. Give me that Iron Spider, and give me his Stark Tech suit from No Way Home. And I want that I want Spider Monkey. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to run to the theater, so I get there on time and see Eternals. I'll definitely let you guys know what I think. I'm hearing it's good. I'm very skeptical, but enough people are saying it's good that I'm starting to believe it might not be terrible. Definitely, I will be safe. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a recap stream of the news from the past week. It's going to be, I call it the segment Super News. So look out for that. Should be like Saturday morning. I'll get everything together and we can do a recap of this stream and all the news. I'll talk about the rumors about the Fantastic Four game, all that good stuff. Everybody be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.